And joining us now with what could be next for Donald Trump is bankruptcy attorney Leo Jacobs. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon.
Let's start with the hush money payment and that case and the issue there. There's some delayment there, but
Yes.
What do you take of it, and what is the main point?
So I think the judge is not having it. Merchant is not having it, simply because he said, well, you gave over 100,000 documents from the prosecution. You had time to look at them previously before. You had copies of it before. It's time to begin the trial. That's essentially what he was saying in the courtroom today.
Let's talk about his other big break today, though, for Donald Trump.
Sure.
I mean, $175 million, he needs to come up with it in the next 10 days, but it's not $500 million anymore. Talk about what plays next. I mean, what happens to his properties? Of course, he made that announcement in front of 40 Wall Street, which could have been seized today.
Yes, it really has him in the same position, but he has to come up with less money. The liens are still there from the Attorney General. The restraining notices are still there from the Attorney General. And if I was him right now and I was listening to this, I think they should still limit, condition, and modify the judgment until the appeal is heard. Really, because Latita, if he doesn't come up with the money, can still enforce. And that's a very, very big distinction and very important to note here, although it is a little bit of a win today.
Okay, so even though there's a couple weeks of delayment here, let's go back to when this trial gets started. Michael Cohen, who was his former fixer, now going to be the start witness of this. I mean, do you think people are going to find him credible? Do you think the jury's going to find him credible?
I don't think so, but it does depend on the cross-examination. The skills of the attorneys of Trump are very skilled in cross-examination, credibility determinations. In fact, that was one of the things that Todd Blanche was talking about. He said, Your Honor, we had 100,000 documents planted on us today. There's some serious credibility issues that we need to look at. Give us the time. And the judge said, nope, not having it. So I think Michael Cohen is definitely in for a treat because he is a convicted felon, really. And he does have those concerns. And I think Bragg knows that. And he's trying to maneuver the best way possible.
I think we're going back and forth in these two big cases. The other thing, too, I saw that tomorrow, Trump's social media company is going to start trading publicly.
Yes.
That's supposed to bring his net worth $3 billion, but he can't access those stocks, you know, now, or these shares now. So what do you make of that?
So let's say Trump decides that he needs to restructure. You know, the issues with the valuation of those businesses really has no relevance because there's a restriction, there's a lockup on taking that money out. However, if you were to come up to a friend or a pal or a colleague or someone and say, hey, you know, I need cash now, I'm strapped, I need to make money for the $175 million judgment, you know, and he'll say, I'll pledge those assets. Or when it does come to fruition and the restriction is lifted, I'll give you that money. So does he have leverage given the fact that the value of his business is much greater today than it was yesterday? Yes. How much? It really depends on his friends and his colleagues and those that are willing to help him in his time of need.
Yeah. All right, Leo Jacobs, thank you so much for joining us, breaking it all down for us.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.